So this is meeting number 17. Yay! First speaker, who was that? Libby.
Hi, I'm
Hello.
Libby. Ligens is my last name. I'm a spiritual transformation coach. I'm an author and I'm also a PA and I work in urgent care. But I want to talk about how you can kind of come out of anxious, crazy thinking more easily. It's really a pattern interrupt in NLP, if you're familiar with that. Otherwise, I don't use techniques in my work at all, but I think it's very helpful. So first you have to recognize that you're off the rails. That's the most important thing. Most of us don't, including myself, don't always get that. So once you recognize that, the way to come right back to the present where things, like right now, things are great. No one's hurting us. We don't have to worry about roof over our head or a job or any of that in this room, right? So to bring yourself back to the present, it's important to simply breathe. And by that I mean take slow inhalation, about 3 breaths. You can all try that with me if you want. Breathe in about 3 seconds, 2, 3, and exhale about twice as long. You don't have to count, but it's helpful if you can't get out of your head to do that. And exhale really slowly. And if you do that in and out 4 or 5 times, you'll notice that your heart rate slows down. You don't feel as anxious. You don't have this big glob in your throat like you did. And you're not at that moment thinking about what made you go off the rails. Now you may go right back into that. Then you need to maybe breathe some more. But if you can do breathing while you're driving, of course we have to breathe anyway, right? But that is really helpful to stop the physical symptoms, number one, but also to get you out of your head. And then if you have a moment where you can enjoy that calmer state, if you pay attention, a lot of times there's some insight that comes up that helps you to think differently than with the way you were thinking before. It's a process. You have to keep revisiting that your whole life, but it gets easier with time. It has for me. I've had a lifetime of anxious, swirling thoughts that take me out of the present. But when you're in that calm state, if you just look around at your surroundings while whatever's happening, wherever you are, there's usually nothing bad happening when you're going through that. You're just thinking about it.
Does it work with your wife?
Possibly.
Going off the rails?
Maybe not at the moment that she's going off the rails.
Was she permanently off the rails?
Maybe when she's not, it might be a good suggestion. I wouldn't advise it when she's in the middle of it. Yeah, I've learned that lesson myself in my life. So best not to say something when someone is all jacked up. Am I close to my 5 minutes?
You have 1 minute and 40 seconds.
Okay. Has anyone had any success with that, doing the breathing?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It's very helpful for me because my mind can go, ooh, because I'm usually doing, 8 things at once and not one of them very well if you're doing 8 things at once. And so it helps me to really focus. And especially when I'm in urgent care, I need to do it several times or more during the day, especially when some folks are more needy than others. And they're going off the rails, and then I have to come back to, okay, because I don't want to get sucked into that. So, yeah, it's very helpful, and anyone can breathe.
And I find it very helpful in the morning when I first wake
Yeah.
up, and my mind is racing.
Doesn't the breathing affect the nerve here?
Well, what it does is stimulate the vagus nerve when you're,
Yeah.
it's important not just to take big breaths, but to exhale very slowly. That's what
Does it
stimulates the
depend
vagus
on
nerve.
breathing through your nose or your mouth?
I really don't think it needs to be that specific. It's just the in-breath and then focusing on the out-breath twice as long as the in-breath. And you'll notice, because it stimulates the vagus nerve when you're exhaling slowly, you'll notice your heart rate that was boop, 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 starts to slow down.
It also lowers your blood pressure.
Correct.
What is LP? You mentioned LP.
NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. So they use exclusively techniques. I have training in that, but that's the only technique that I use to interrupt the pattern of this thinking. Thank you.
Yeah.
Love you too.
My name is Bob Kramer, and I've studied the art of war for 24 years because I was in the military, and I want to thank you for paying your taxes, my salary. You know, I wanted to ask you if you've ever been to heaven. Now, once a month, we come to this divine artist and her wonderful husband. So we have a divine inspiration. But how many of you have been to heaven?
In Tahoe?
No one. I would like today to transport you to heaven. Would that be okay?
Sure.
And I'm going to teach you, now that we're breathing so well, I'm going to teach you how you can go to heaven whenever you want to. So are you ready?
Yes.
Are you ready to breathe deeply and let the transportation wash through you? All right, so I'm going to power up my transporter here. If you feel like you can get to heaven and experience this closing your eyes better, then try that. Whoops. Oh.
Almost there and bam.
Kind of like life, right?
Okay. So how many people went to heaven? Yes, you followed the leader, Fred, Eddie. Does anybody know what that is? Did anybody go to the Bach Festival?
No.
Yes.
Okay, there was a song that was played by Chopin, Étude, number 1, opus 25. Chopin's Étude, number 1, number 25. You can go to heaven whenever you want to. It's on YouTube. And this was, it was composed in 1837 and then published in 1838. And it had such an impact on the fellow composers of Chopin, particularly Schumann. And Schumann said, this is not an etude, this is a divine poem. And he labeled it as a metaphor the Aeolian harp. The Aeolian harp. Did it sound like that? Okay. Well, please go to heaven and enjoy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was wonderful.
Hello, everybody. We should be chill now, right? After breathing and going to heaven. So, see how well I do here. My name is Judith, and I'm here today, thanks to Dixie, because this time a year ago I was in Greece on the island of Crete, and I went to
I'll hold those if you like.
art show in Rethmo in the Venetian castle. And I found this artist. Her name is Kanisa. She's from Russia. Her husband's name is Pavel. And I was so taken by her artwork. I mean, absolutely incredible work. I brought 3 things today. I have a large painting at home that's absolutely breathtaking, but I didn't want to have to carry it. And I also have a book here with a lot of her artwork in it, cards from her business. And my purpose, not just here, but my purpose for her is to try to get her some exposure in the States. So I'm not sure how to do that, but my friend Dixie said this would be a good place to start. So that's what we're going to do. She works in gouache, okay, and oils. And this is one of the gouache paintings.
Beautiful.
And
Yeah.
what I'd like you to look at, and I don't know anything about art, I'm auditory, not visual, but I know what I like, is the light on the water. It's very special in Greece. I don't know if any of you have been there, but it's very hard to capture that on a painting. I have other friends that are artists that have looked at her work and said, that's amazing how she can capture the light. The other one, this one is oil, and this was done of her balcony in her house. Again, the light is beautiful, I think, in these paintings. Right now, she's in that Venetian fortress having a showing. And she also, I brought this only because it was small enough to carry, but this gives you an idea of some more of her work. This is a print. Kanisa and Pavel. I would really love it if any of you are interested just even to look at the book when we're all done today, that will show you pictures of some of her other work, because it's really amazing. She has some incredible, I don't know what you call them, they're nudes with animals and just, you know, a horse on the beach running with a woman with the hair flowing behind. I mean, they're absolutely gorgeous, excuse me, absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous artwork. And when it's shown like it has been in this Venetian castle in Crete on the stone walls, I mean, it's just magnificent. The painting that I have a picture of here. It's about this big. And it's a picture of lavender fields that are facing part of the ocean and looking at Mount Assos, I think it was. Maybe it's Olympus. I can't remember. I'd have to look. No, it's Olympus, across the inlet between that part of Greece and the mountain. And it's absolutely fantastic. I mean, when I walked in, the first thing I saw was this painting. And I was just taken with it, incredibly taken with it. But I didn't do anything. I'm not a big art connoisseur, and I wasn't going to carry a painting back home, right? But I went back to where we were staying that night, and I thought about it, and I thought, you know what, let's go back there again tomorrow. And I did purchase it, and she shipped it to me. And these 2 I actually purchased from her website, which is also available. And I have cards, too. Everything she does that I've seen is just amazing. Okay. And anyway, thank you for your time. If anybody's interested, I'll have the book and her resume with me, and you can come and look after. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Whoosh.
So, in a way, what Judith was saying was a little bit of a lead-in to what I'm going to talk about, because I'm a painter. My name is Heidi Hibble, by the way. I'm an oil painter. And I live at Paul, Colorado Canyon, and painters are fascinated with light. And I'm an abstract painter, but I'm still fascinated with light. And I live in this canyon. I'm at one side of the canyon, and the other side of the canyon is redwood trees. And when I get up in the morning, the sun is over here, and I sort of watch it travel all the way around to the other side of the canyon, and then it goes down. So I'm kind of interested in capturing just a moment in time, and the traveling of the sun, while I'm aware of it on a daily basis, I'm also aware that it has vastly different setting places in the seasons. So now it goes all the way around like this, and I can see it set over the ocean where the canyon kind of comes down like this. And in the winter, I know it goes this far, and it ends right there. So think Stonehenge or something like that uses the light with the sculpture as it's traveling through time and the seasons. So I have two paintings, abstract paintings, that are inspired by light. And this one is called Summer Flare, and this one is A Moment in Time. Right.
Yeah.
And that's it. Okay, thank
Very
you.
nice.
Thank you. Same to you.
Hi, my name is Hans Lehmann. I know some of you. I know Rebecca very well, who really thinks out of the box, like Eddie. And Rebecca helped me on my blog, which I'm going to speak about. And I'm passing out some of these. She did the artwork here. You all can have one of these. One is sort of half through. So anyway.
I got it, yeah.
Thank you. So my name is Hans Lehmann, and I know Dixie thinks out of the box too. I know I have one of Heidi's little pictures from years ago. I know Michelle, I know a lot of you. Anyway, I'm 93 years old. I've been here since 1939, and I'm proud of being 93, and I'm proud of this blog. And let me tell you what a blog is. Last time I was here, I did something like this. I took my watch off to check my time. I'll do it again, and because I get mixed up with what you're doing. And I left my watch here, so don't let me lose it this time. A blog is an online diary, or daily or weekly or monthly synopsis of one's activities, ideas, or reflections. I post 2 blogs a week through Substack, which is a free intermediary. And my blog is free, although many subscribers do become paid subscribers, which always pleases me. There are supposedly 600 million blogs. I've written 117. I started my blog just a year ago. A friend helped me move all my email addresses to Substack, of which many were duplicates or businesses. So some of those I really don't use in my percentages, but the average blogger, according to Subscape, gets paid subscribers between 5 and 10%, and mine are between 25 and 35%, so I'm very happy about that. I started my blog for 3 reasons. I like to write. I wanted to send positive, humorous, and uplifting messages in this crazy world. I wanted to help pay for my house repairs. I'm a 100-year-old house. Last year I got a new foundation, painted the entire house and garage, replaced some termite-eaten boards, and replaced back stairs, and the expense continues. So I thought if I could get a little help with that, it wouldn't hurt. I said the following about my blog, if you're looking for it, under Subscapes. Humorous reflections of life in Carmel by the sea and its surroundings, written in a personal and lighthearted fashion. And sometimes people make positive comments about my blog, which is a great reason for writing it. It helps the ego. I'm sure any of you, all of you, artists or whatever you do, if you can publicize your work, it's great for the ego. And I'll read you some comments, and then if I have time, I'll read you one of my latest blogs. I continue to enjoy your blog posts. They are little bright snapshots of life. It makes me smile and live in the present and appreciate what I have around me. It sustains me, which is no small feat. Your writing adds some positivity to my day, Hans. Fantastic blog, Hans. Thanks for helping us remember the good things people do. Another wonderful missive today, extolling the virtues of Marina, Sand City, and Carmel. Love the visuals your prose emits. I just want to let you know that your diary of sorts always puts a smile on my face. I really enjoy the snippets you write. They are friendly, concise, and each one brings me back to Carmel. What an ongoing delight it is to enjoy aspects of your days through your blog. Each blog takes about 3 or 4 hours to write, incidentally. You always fuss with them, 1 minute. I do enjoy reading your blog. I kind of live my life vicariously through you. I'll just read a part of one of my last blogs on the Bach Festival. And for many years, I've been involved with the Carmel Bach Festival. For 12 of those years, my mother was head of housing, my uncle was on its board, and my father stopped attending because he began to cry unabashedly whenever he heard the beautiful music. Going to heaven, as Bob says, perhaps, and then I go into the concert, which was absolutely beautiful. And so my blog is from my day-to-day activities, and if you're interested in joining the blog, it's free. The information is on the little handout which you got, and I'll leave it at that. Thank you. Thank you.
Your what?
Hi everyone. My name is Michelle. Hi, my name is Michelle Amirkanyan, and I am blessed to have been introduced to all of you, and thank Eddie for her hospitality, and Doctor as well. And I just wanted to something I discovered years ago. I helped me drawing pastels when I would go to school, and I had to process stress and stuff, sort of like our nurse practitioner was explaining today. And I discovered my mom's a mathematician, or she studied mathematics as an adult, and so I studied with her alongside her going to college. And so Fibonacci's spirals, my both grandmothers drew flowers, and so that sort of trend combined and helped me get through some of my studies. And I just wanted to bring a couple of paintings that I did, and it just includes the spirals of meaning harmony and connecting things together, the cycle of nature, and I use pastels, and this is just using pastels with different paper background, but it's really calming, and it sort of allows you to process through things, what's not working, what you can work through, and it keeps you centered and focused. It's just a wonderful exercise, and it's fun to do. And so I encourage everyone to sort of try it out. I tried pastels, but I'm sure colored pencils or any sort of preference is suitable. So thank you for your time. Have a wonderful day.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Too much energy.
I am an abstract artist, but I'm also a therapeutic art practitioner. And today I brought my sound bowls for the heart chakra and the third eye. But I don't think that I have time to actually unpack it because I didn't. I was just too busy listening. So I'm gonna just talk what kind of therapeutic arts I do. And so one of them is
Please
using.
tell us who you are.
Oh, I'm Shagufta Khan, and I am an abstract artist. And I have gotten into therapeutic art because that's how I worked my own traumas, to say, through using these techniques. So the techniques that I have used is the EFTA, which is the emotional freedom technique, which is a tapping technique. So what I do is I sit with the person who is interested to kind of unlock their energies and have, we are energy beings. And so sometimes we hold things in, like we hold our breaths, right? And we don't breathe deeply. So in the same way, we hold our energies in and they get stuck into a particular chakra. And so these, the EFTA or the sounding bowl can help you release those energy blocks and bring you clarity. If you're facing a problem or whatever it is, it helps you kind of find your way. And so that's what I do, but this is what is the result. And I am a channeling artist, so I don't really plan or sketch or anything. I don't want to tell the title of this painting, but I would like to know if anybody wants to tell me what they would call it.
Virgin Mary. Virgin Mary.
Say that again?
Kitty. Yeah, heaven.
There you go. Okay. And you said something?
Virgin Mary.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The Lord Christ from behind.
Whoa. Okay.
That's what I see.
Who's saying
What did she say?
Christ?
I see the same.
I see Christ from behind too.
There you go.
That was my first thought.
So I am highly spiritual. I would like to call myself spiritual, and the journey that I have gone through, I think spirituality is one. That is the thing that actually carried me through whatever I was going through. And when I painted this, and I'm not Christian, but I believe in Christ, so because I don't plan, I just put paint and then I go with it. And when at some point I see something, I stop and then take it further. So when I painted this, and I'm like, I see Christ. I see Jesus Christ walking that way. And it just gave me goosebumps. So this is one of my favorite pieces, and I just wanted to share with you guys.
That's wonderful.
This is what I do.
I think it's a banana with, no.
It is what you see it is. Yeah. Virgin Mary, Christ, it's a symbol of spirituality, or that there is a higher power watching over all of us. We are not here by accident. Well, that's at least what I believe. So I guess my minute is not over, and my speech is. So I do have my playing sound bowls. If anybody wants it afterwards, I'll open them up.
Maybe after the break.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whoever, I'm gonna just set them up because it takes a little bit of time.
Okay.
So it's a yin yang sound bowl. So heart chakra and third eye, and so it will, gravitate with that. Thank you. Okay, there you go. My minute is up. Thank you. What do you do?
Well, I am Victoria Lee, and today I'm going to introduce something a little different. I'm an artist as well, but today I'm going to introduce you to my poetry. So I have written poetry my entire life. I started when I was like maybe 13, not younger, and so I would write my life in poem. So I have a book that I wrote, and I finished it in 1999, stuck it away, and almost forgot about all the poems. So I dug it out, and I'm going to read you one of the poems from my youth. And then I'm going to read you a poem that is recent, because after a few years, after 1999, I wrote a whole nother book, but it's all digital. So this one is a book, and I titled it Finding Uncontrolled Rapture, which doesn't have to stick because I didn't publish it, so I could always change it. And the one I'm going to read you right now is called Life Dancer. And actually, my daughter chose this one out of this because she liked it. Life Dancer, me, a life... Okay. Life Dancer, that's the title. Me, a life dancer, that's what the Toro said. Life dancer, bliss resides someplace in me, deep, untouched, unrecognized, screaming to get out, make itself known, reveal its true identity, telling me I am a life dancer, dancing my way through life, walking atop heads, thinking it's misery. Who am I kidding? What am I waiting for? Life will dance away if I'm not careful. I should now see. I'm a life dancer. I should now be.
Nice, yeah.
And the
Good
next
pick.
one, Sarah. And the next one, this book, I've written probably the same amount of poems. And this one, I just continuously write, but this is one of the later ones. I better put my glasses on for this one. So the next book I have titled as Trophy Wife, because life was kind of hectic over the past couple of years, and I wrote it all out. So this poem goes with the title. It's called Trophy Wife. So here goes. Dirt roads, big trees, greenest grass, miles of cornfields, barefoot in the backyard, summer tan with no shoes, more country than city, Midwest dreams of big cities and ocean waves, skipping rocks cross country, I-80, making it all the way, rear view mirrors looking hazy, swearing I ain't crazy, crossing bridges, burning rubber, across the heart of my daddy because I'm going far, far away. Met a boy who thought he was a man, laughed at me because of my summer tan, with no shoes, more country than city, Midwest dreams of big cities and ocean waves, made a life, cruising down Market Street, Halloween in the pretty city, New Year's on Embarcadero, Divisadero, African girls, made my hair braids real tight. I wanted to be seen. My waist was itty bitty and mean. So cute, he put a ring on it. My head was big, my smile bigger. Like the trophy I became, walked me up and down Pier 3 and 9 on that 24-karat gold leash on my neck. All his boys said, she's so fine. He said, yeah, she's all mine. I turned and smiled, looked up, he was gone. The clouds rolled in and life went dark. My summer tan with no shoes, more country than city, Midwest dreams, big cities and ocean waves, I drowned in. He was gone. Faces changed, minds erased, replaced with the hate of me that kept me on the shelf. Behind the mahjong and cast iron teapots, laces were lighter, like the Peking ducks. I couldn't fly. So I closed my eyes. Summers in the country with no shoes and Midwest dreaming, dirt roads, big trees, and green, green grass. Thank you.
Swish. I'd just like to make a comment on that. I just love that. And I felt that this would be the lyrics to a wonderful ballad. I don't know if you're a composer as well, but if you're not, we should hook you up with one because I think you have a great song there. That's how it affected me. It made my heart sing.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Please do my eyes. It's a really good. Really touched on.
It was my first time reading them out loud.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Friends. I'm not a public speaker, so this is. I actually originally asked Eddie if I could. I wanted to tell you about my latest adventure and invite you to join me. And then hearing everybody and thinking and spending some time with a high school buddy of mine, I started thinking about my life, my adventures, and everything. And I'd just like to say, this group just, I don't know, supports me in so many ways, just being present. I have always been somebody that I've never stayed with one thing, you know. I mean, I have, and once I succeed at it, I move on. And that little piece has led me from wanting to be a writer when I was 10, 11 years old, to then wanting to be a historian by the time I was 12, and on and on and on. And I do write. I am a historian, but I've also been very enmeshed in the world of arts for a lot of reasons. And then I see these faces. I met this gentleman because we have a mutual friend that lives in Paris.
And Conch, and I saw a month ago in Conch.
Right. And then this lady, they started a deer awareness group in Pacific Grove to try and keep people from running over all our deer. And this artist I met, because we are on the board of directors of Deer Awareness, PG Deer Awareness. And so through life, I've just kind of gone with it. I went back to school. I retired from my corporate life at 49. I went back to school and majored in architecture. And I designed about 3 houses on the peninsula, custom houses. And then that was done. I was done with that and moved on and do a lot of great big events. I've done huge events. And I love that because it takes all my different skills into, it brings them all together. And then I came here. I think John Mark brought me the first time.
Oh, that's right, yes.
That's right. And I fell in love with all these people, Fred and Eddie, and it was just, I just love this group so much. And I didn't feel like people thought I was kind of flighty because my brain never stops. Okay, it doesn't. And I'm interested in everything. So being a writer, doing all the research, that has helped me in good stead all my life. And this group seems to be kind of the same skittish way I am. And so because of this person and this person, about 6 to 8 weeks ago, about 3 months ago, I think I met Lawrence and Annette here, who have started reviving the Carmel International Film Festival. And this is their 3rd year, and it's like turbocharged this year. And I ran into them. Lawrence and Annette called me. We had a little chat. I said, well, if you ever need any help, let me know. And 3 days later, I was hired as their executive producer of the Carmel International Film Festival. Yay me. I'm immersed in films, and I am having the best time of my life. And all of these other things I've done all along the way allows me to do this. Yeah. My contact with the artist, Eva the filmmaker, John Mark the actor, all these things amongst all the other energies you've given me. So I am going to invite you all to, if you'd like to volunteer, the film festival is October 2nd through the 5th. We're going to go from 9 in the morning till 10 or so at night. So we need lots of volunteers. We're going to be at the Golden Bell Theater and the Circle Theater and the Founders Theater there. And we have some other places. We have over 130 films that have come to us. So, you know, how great is this? My job is to watch movies. And I, of course, go right to the documentaries and the biographies and things. Those are the first ones I watch. But it is great. So look on our website. It's not there. About a week or two, we'll have it up. But if you'd like to help, the website is CIFFEAST.com.
You have a card?
Yes. I have a card. Yes. And it's Carmel International Film Festival and the FEST. So it's CIFFEAST.com. And we'll have it all what we need people to do. We need them to do everything. And so don't let me down, guys. So thank you. And just keep creating. This is the best group.
Thank you.
I can relate to Dixie and her relatively random lifestyle, her career life from corporate to architecture to now you're a movie maven, so that's cool. I'm the same way. have attention span of a gnat. The title of my biography is "But I Digress," because I digress. So actually, I'm standing in for my wife, Hedda Adler. Some of you have met her, some of you haven't. She's a force of nature, 7 feet tall, pure German, blonde hair, blue eyes, 79 years old, going on 32. But I met her 6 years ago after the death of my wife of 58 years, and married her 5 years ago when we moved to Carmel. And I'll start with the end. I am healthier at 82 than I was at 62, primarily because of Hedda. And she taught me a lot of what was in her book from 10 years ago called Ageless, 5 Keys to a Miraculous Life at Any Age. So I'm just going to give you the 5 minutes that she would have given if she hadn't been put through the ringer by her physical therapist today. She had a knee replacement. Not for the faint of heart, by the way. So we call it aging interrupted. And we know we don't really interrupt aging. Aging happens. What we believe a few things, like there is such a thing as genetics, which we can't do much about, and there's such a thing as lifestyle, which we can do everything about. It's how we live. A few facts. The median American man lives about 75 to 77 years. The median American woman lives about 80 years. But the median American, both genders, has a health span of about 65 years, which means the median American spends somewhere between 10 and 15 years in seriously declining health. That's a fact. It may not be any of us, but it is most people. And it was me until 5 years ago. Genetics versus lifestyle. The keys are not all that complicated. They're things we know about. Nutrition, exercise, sleep, stress, social life, social connection, mindset. Those are the pillars we talk about and work on. And here's what's so perverse about this. I'll bet you everybody here knows somewhere between 75 and 100% of what you should and should not do on any one of those dimensions. But I doubt that the percentage is that high as to whether we do it. That's the rub. So, and we learned this the hard way. We did workshops in Carmel. We'd have 15, 18 people at the library. Very lively session, 2 hours, asking great questions and all that. And we finally concluded these people know all this stuff. They just don't know, they just don't do it. And they don't know how to change their habits. So that's what our work is now, is understanding how do you help someone replace a bad habit with a good habit, or do a makeover of a habit that gets you in trouble. So you may know that cancer thrives on sugar, but you still have to have your gelato, right? Or your Oreos or whatever. Maybe you don't. And maybe instead of that, anyway, it's all about habit rehabilitation. Hedda calls it habit rehabilitation. So that's what it is. That's a little primer. That's the talk she was going to give. And if there's more interest in it, she'd be happy to come back at some other time and do the whole thing. That's it.
You answer a question?
Sure.
I'm just curious about the rehabilitating of habits. What do you do there?
Well, my experience with that, and hers also, she'd had an aesthetic spa for 50 years up in Blackhawk before we met. And I have had a coaching practice since 2005. I finally gave up the corporate life about age 63 and started a coaching practice. I called it Surviving Success, because I knew a lot of guys in Silicon Valley that they succeeded, they could do whatever they want. And somewhere between 15 and 30% of them were completely miserable. They were lost. They'd lost their families or their souls or whatever. So I learned a lot about habit rehab. And the gist of it is, well, you know, the old joke, how many people does it take to change a light bulb? One, but the light bulb has to want to change. So that's fundamental. If the person doesn't, they might talk a good game, but frankly, they're quite happy with their 30 pounds overweight, or they can't get out of bed without assistance or whatever it might be, they're not going to change. But if they actually are, for some reason of theirs, some motivation, intrinsic, they're unhappy, And they believe that on their own or with help from a coach, they can create some new, they're not habits until they're habitual, but you can start, okay, I could try to do that. And then they get held accountable on a regular basis. Okay, what happened? You had, 4 cheeseburgers since lunchtime? Okay, what happened? And they get to say, well, this is what happened. This is why I screwed up. Okay, let's try it again. What can we do this time? And I mean, I've had a coaching practice, I said, since 2005, so it's 20 years. And I remember when I first announced to my son, who was then about 35 or 40, that I was going to become a coach and help people change. He said, Papa, I hate to tell you this, but people don't change. He is absolutely incorrect about that. Some people do change. We're all capable of it. And if you think you can't get along without gelato, I submit that if you were incarcerated for a year, odds are you weren't going to get any gelato. And you'd be okay.
Survive it.
Yeah. So we create our own prisons. We create our own barriers and our own, tank traps. And we're all like this. We're all the same. We're all, when we make dumb choices sometimes, and there's consequences. But it is a joy to help people make changes.
I just wanted to add something. You're an amazing specimen for 82, number one. Number two, it's about priorities. That's where you have to decide. What is your priority? Is your priority to go into later part of your life being healthy?
Right.
Or do you just want to be...
Exactly. Have you bought into the myth that the decline is inevitable?
A value
It's not
judgment.
inevitable.
Can I speak up for gelato?
I'm with you, kid.
I love gelato.
Last Friday was National Hot Fudge Sundae Day.
Yeah.
Did everybody know that? And we had hot fudge sundaes.
That was something.
My doctor told me, if there's something you do once a year or once a quarter, do whatever you want. You want a béarnaise sauce on your ribeye, have it. But if you're having it every week, you might want to think about that one.
We had a speaker here in Carmel maybe a year ago. She did this seminal work internationally on cognitive decline.
Cognitive decline.
Cognitive decline. It was like standing room only. And people wanted to know, well, what did you find? How do you extend your cognitive capability from 65 to 90? Because usually the statistics show that the normal decline is 65. And she said there was one significant effect that made the difference, and that was 150 minutes of exercise every week.
A week.
I believe it.
150 minutes.
That's me.
For 20 minutes a day.
Single most
I do it too.
impactful habit
Even
for cognitive
Right.
advancement.
And walk is a very excellent way to get your
Thigh
30 minutes.
muscles straight. Strength. Very critical because our calf muscles in particular move a lot of blood back up. So it's like a second heart.
I think we have a hot
It also
topic
helps your
here.
balance.
Yeah.
Right?
So,
Right.
okay, so,
Thank you, Eddie. Thank everybody.
whoosh.
Oh, whoosh.
Whoosh, whoosh.
Pass it on.
So I'm Fred.
Not yet, though.
I go with her. Together we're Freddy. And you ought to see our license plates. Fred Hearts Eddie, and the other one is Eddie Hearts Fred. So we can't go anywhere in town without, somebody knowing, oh, I saw your car. I wonder what you were doing. So we behave ourselves pretty well. But I was going to say something, and then there were so many people that had signed up. I thought, well, this isn't that important. And then I'm sort of feeding off what several of you have said. The first thing I was going to talk about was the importance of presentation for all of us, whether we're an artist or a speaker or a poet or whatever we do. We need to present. And what does that mean? We need to get the word out to the back row, even in a small area like this. And it's very easy, particularly if we're thinking a lot about what we're saying, to kind of look down, and maybe particularly as we get older, I've been accused of, gee, Fred, you're speaking more softly now than you used to. Can you speak up a little bit more? But I wanted to give an example, a dramatic example of this. So we went to the Bach Festival, And we were lucky enough to have some of these afternoon appointments and concerts at the All Saints Church. And there was a small group of instrumentalists and singers, and the announcer was standing up on the stage, and he had a microphone, and he was talking like this, and the microphone wasn't working very well, and we were all sitting out in the pews, and we literally couldn't hear, other than that there's a guy talking, but, you know, and he's a very astute person, and he was one of the leaders in the group. And so several different people from behind us yelled, "Speak up!" And meanwhile, there was, the other point I'll get to, there was an assistant coming, playing with it, trying to make it louder, and it wouldn't go any louder. So finally he came down in front and stood in the aisle, a couple of rows back from the front, and just spoke to all of us, changed everything. It was just wonderful to do that. And so my other point, besides projecting, you don't need a microphone to project, even if you're in a pretty good-sized church, medium-sized church. Just project, get your face out, look, talk to the person in the back row. But the other thing is have a plan B. And what he needed a plan B was, when the microphone doesn't work, oh my God, what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to speak without a microphone if my microphone doesn't work. And it would be the same as if you're showing slides. And a lot of speakers these days get so tied to their slides that they really can't give a talk, and they end up reading their slides, and that's a whole nother thing. No, don't ever read your slides. The people can read the slides over your shoulder faster than I can say them. So those are a couple of things I just was going to say if I was going to say something. Now I've said them. Now the other thing that I did want to say relating to diseases and how they change, and that Joe sort of stimulated me for this amazing article in the New Yorker, if you haven't seen it, 10 pages long, about a woman who's now in her 50s who was diagnosed as having schizophrenia, and she clearly had schizophrenic symptoms in her 20s. And it was delusional, and this is written largely by an author who interviews her daughter, who was 12 at the time when she got, and then the younger daughter was 3. To make a long story short, it's the next 20 years. She's in and out of psychiatric hospitals. They go back to the original diagnosis of schizophrenia that a leading psychiatrist named Kraepelin came up with in 1890, which sort of started what psychiatry is all about. It's these people who are crazy, you know. And so it's called schizophrenic. So anyway, she came down with an autoimmune disease, and actually it was with a cancer in her case, with a lymphoma. And she's treated with a couple of anti-cancer drugs, but particularly one of these anti-immune drugs. 2 weeks later, she starts talking in the hospital more like a normal person. A month later, she is normal. This is 20-some years later. They're now, and then it goes into the articles about other people who've had autoimmune diseases, who were schizophrenic. You treat the autoimmune disease, which sometimes by accident, as in her case, sometimes maybe it shows up as rheumatoid arthritis or something like that. Treat the rheumatoid arthritis with the right drug, and it works. Now, there are millions of people with schizophrenia in the world, and right now the researchers, and I'll wrap up, think maybe this might apply, the autoimmune group might be 1 or 2%, but it sort of got to your point about genetics. The people who have the genetics, that their cause of the schizophrenic behavior, which are delusions and, you know, crazy nonsensical behavior, thinking that the TV is speaking to them personally and all those kinds of delusions. It's just something, you need to read this wherever you want to find it, in the New Yorker or in New York Times or wherever. And isn't that exciting about the future of psychiatry? Yeah, it's just amazing.
What is the name of the time? So this is my other therapy that includes 50 cute little otters with lots of other jokes.
So this is gonna come out October 1st, I'm hoping. And you can buy this on Amazon, but I will have a virtual launch party somewhere around the beginning of October. And also we'll have a launch party right here also. We're gonna have a other party. And we can even do costume. It's gonna be probably around Halloween, so we'll do other costume book launch party. So 50 authors, 50 talks. So I'm just gonna start reading the first introduction part. Oh, by the way, the foreword is written by Jack Canfield. If anybody knows Jack Canfield, who is Chicken Soup for the Soul guy. So he, I happened to meet him at the author things, and he just fell in love with my otter. So he bought my Van Gogh otter prints, and then otter with a pearl earring, mug cup. So he's drinking his tea every morning with my otter, and so I got his permission to authorize him. So this is authorized version of Jack Canfield with the crab soup for the otter's soul. All right. So Valerie, stop me whenever the time. So how otter therapy began. I never expected sea otters to become my partners in healing, but life has a way of surprising us. After spending nearly 3 decades as a healthcare professional, mainly a nurse practitioner, I traded my stethoscope for a paintbrush. And in April 2024, I opened a small art gallery in Carmel, California. My journey began long before that, though. Back in 1988, when I met Mother Teresa in Calcutta, India, her presence and wisdom inspired me to dedicate my life to healing, first through medicine and now through art. I arranged a new series of paintings in my gallery's front window: Van Gogh otter, otter with a pearl earring, George Washington otter, and Scream otter. I wasn't sure how people would react, but soon I started hearing bursts of laughter and playful debates outside. Passerby would stop, point, and excitedly guess the original paintings or historical figures behind each otter. Couples nudged each other, parents quizzed their kids, and groups of friends giggled while posing for selfies. It became clear that these whimsical little creatures weren't just paintings. They were spreading joy. So I put up a sign: Otter therapy, if you're smiling, it's working. Soon people began stepping into my gallery, grinning as they declared, it's working. Others would laugh and say, I need more therapy. I became known as the otter lady in Otterland, happily overseeing my growing team of otter therapists. These little creatures were doing such a fantastic job that people want to take them home on prints, coasters, greeting cards, and even original paintings. Customers later shared stories of how their otter therapists kept them company, made their families laugh, or even lifted their spirits during difficult times. There was only one problem: how to choose just one or a few otter therapists to take home. So I decided to create this book, an entire year's worth of otter joy. Inside you'll find 50 otter therapists, one for each week, to brighten your days. Some come with otter jokes and puns, others with fun facts about sea otters of famous artworks. Some pages features heartwarming stories from my customers, proving that laughter and lightheartedness are just as healing as medicine. If you find yourself smiling as you flip through these pages, well, it's working.
That's the.
Don't tell us. Don't tell us. vote for the second.
Okay. First.
Second.
Hands up for first. Okay. Hands up for second. The second is the third eye chakra. That was it.
Very nice.
Clap, clap.
Okay.
Clap, clap.
Thank you. If anyone wants, thank you.
If you want to do the other one.
It's up to folks here. I don't mind. Can we do another 3 minutes, everybody? Yeah.
It's
So
loud.
I do want you guys to breathe deeply if you would like to. So what happens is the sound is going to actually bring your focus to that particular chakra. So for me at least, because I think I'm kind of in tune to it now, I kind of feel vibration around here. So your third eye is supposed to be, the third eye chakra is right here. And so yeah, just breathe deeply and if you would please put your right hand on your heart, please for this one. And breathe deeply. If there is something that you wanna think about or resolve that is linked to your heart, please think about that. And you might be able to like tap into it. how does it make you feel? I mean, I know it can be like annoying for somebody's ears, but how did it make you feel?
Soothing.
Relax.
So
Definitely
basic,
soothing.
yeah,
Both of them.
nice, very nice. So basically, it again helps your energy move through that particular chakra that I'm playing the bowl for. And if anybody wants to come and play it themselves, because the reality is that these bowls are vibrating. And a lot of therapies are actually done with putting the bowl, not the crystal ones, but the bronze bowl on the body and playing it on that part of the body to kind of, vibrate and loosen the blocked energy. But I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Yeah, it will actually stay with you, and it may just keep coming and helping you with whatever you had thought about. I just want to share that.
Very good.
Okay, thank you. You have a question?
Yeah. Both of them, I felt them going around and around, but the first one was they did get very loud, and I have sensitive hearing, so it was kind of intense, but fine, and this, but the second one, my ears, my head, my sinuses got all stuffed up. What does that mean?
It's coming up.
Something was coming up?
Yes,
Oh.
your energy is trying. 3 minutes is not enough.
So
you
the
have-
energy was trying to move
Yes,
something up and
move
out.
out of your, either the crown or the ears out. You have, these are the openings to your body.
Yeah, it was my nose and my ears, and it was congestion, like I had sinus problems
Yeah,
or
I
something.
felt it in my
ears were stuck
Oh,
up
you
like
did
an
feel
airplane.
it. So
But it
she
didn't
also
feel
felt it in
painful.
her
I felt it.
sinuses.
Yeah,
I mean,
felt it in my sinuses.
there are 2 medical professionals right here, and I think they would tell you again that sound can be therapeutic. And this is like a very high frequency sound. I mean, sound can actually crack things up, right? So this is trying to unblock your blockages, your energy blockages.
So would that be related to what I was thinking about?
Yes.
Oh my.
Want to share?
So,
I need a couch.
Therapist in the house.
we got it. There you
Start
go.
with the breathing.
There you go. So part of the thing that I do is basically either do the sound bowl therapy or the EFTA, and then you paint what has come up with you. So that's what my whole session is actually to geared towards that, because that's what happened with me. Like I showed you the art, right? I created, and I was tapping into that energy of the divine, because I'm by myself in this area and don't have any other support system, and I was like, I need you, and it came in a form, and I put it out, and it has happened so many times. So my thing is that anybody who wants to maybe do that, we can do that, and that's what I do with these. So you will eventually bring whatever is there, give it a vision, give it a form, give it a color. So that's the idea, because you just said that it is related to what you were thinking. So I would like you to maybe paint it out.
Well, that's interesting because you're sort of taking it outside of yourself.
Absolutely, and actually sometimes we don't even know. I have not known, and it's just after I painted, then I know. I'm like, okay. So either it will give me a message, or I can see it. And we all know that if we can name our issue, right, then the problem is resolved. Oftentimes we don't really know that, right? So that's the idea. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you.